My name is Eden Connor and I'm here today to talk to you about air pollution and its effects on both us as human beings and our health and the environment around us. Air pollution is the contamination of air by smoke and harmful gases, mainly oxides of carbon, sulfur and nitrogen. Air pollution include exhaust fumes of vehicles, burning of fossil fuels such as coal, oil and gas, radiation spills or nuclear accidents.
Hello, my name is Alicia Kersbergen and I'm here to interview our geographical expert, Mr. Jonathan Howarth, on his thoughts on air pollution.
Air pollution has a number of effects on the environment. Some of them include acid rain, greenhouse effect, global warming, equally impacting then of course on things like the melting of the ice caps, raising of sea levels, changing of weather patterns.
There are many effects of air pollutants. Air pollution is a significant factor for multiple health conditions including respiratory infections, heart diseases, and cancer. These effects can result in increased medication use and premature death. What are the effects of the depleting ozone layer in our region?
Another very serious impact that affects people in this region, for example, would be the damage to the ozone layer. The greenhouse gases essentially remove the ozone from the upper layers of the atmosphere, thinning that, and therefore reducing the amount of UV radiation that is absorbed and reflected by that layer. This means that more of it actually reaches the surface of the Earth, and therefore has increased, of course, things like the amount of skin cancer.
I would now like to ask Professor Anthony Headley, Head of Hong Kong Air Pollution and Health Protection, his opinion on some key factors concerning air pollution.
Yes, there's no question about that, if your defense mechanisms, let's say your oxidant status, people know about antioxidants, for example, in the diet, but these are depleted if you're constantly stressed by a toxin like air pollutants. So certainly you're at greater risk of an infection, or as I say, if you contract an infection, then your ability to deal with it may be impaired. I mean, the first thing you must do if you live in Hong Kong is write to the chief executive and say, give me cleaner air. You know, there's no substitute for that. Secondly, I have to say it's very difficult to protect yourself because breathing is an essential life support function and every lungful is potentially doing you damage. However, let me say that first of all, you could review your lifestyle. You should certainly ensure that your diet is rich in fruits and vegetables, particularly citrus fruits and leafy green vegetables. The antioxidant properties of those will, arguably at least, and there is some evidence to support that, strengthen your immune system. I suggest that you don't do that by taking pills. Eat the natural foods, because there's no evidence that the pills work and there is evidence that the natural foodstuffs do. Exercise, this is a good question, and of course it's an uncomfortable dilemma. We certainly need exercise to maintain body fitness, and there's a lot of evidence that exercise protects against respiratory problems, heart disease and cancers. However, if you exercise in this kind of environment, then you increase your ventilatory rate, you're increasing the pollutant load to your lungs and your body, and that of course may worsen the hazard and the outcomes. So I don't have a clever answer to that, but I would say that it's better to do some exercise, generally light exercise, strengthening exercises, than it is to have a sedentary lifestyle. It's an open question, and I think there can't be any good argument for undertaking endurance training outdoors in high pollution environments. So I think people should be very cautious about that, and if they think they're susceptible, for example, they're prone to wheezing or something of that sort, they should avoid it, especially when the levels are high. Indoor exercise may be better, but indoor air quality may be affected largely by outdoor air quality, so again be careful. But it's possible that you can do this with reasonable protection indoors, especially if there are air filters in the building in which you're taking this exercise.
I would now like to thank Professor Anthony Headley for his cooperation and for sharing with us his opinions and his knowledge of air pollution in Hong Kong and around the world. Now that we know the effects of air pollution, it's up to you whether you're going to run the risk of suffering from all the effects associated with it, or if you're going to help try and prevent it.